Our first guest that I am so excited to introduce is Madame Gandhi. Madame Gandhi is an artist and activist whose mission is to celebrate gender liberation. She has toured drumming for MIA, Thievery Corporation, and most recently Oprah on her 2020 Vision Stadium tour with the morning dance party Daybreaker. She's been listed as a Forbes 30 Under 30 member and is a 2020 TED Fellow. Her uplifting music and talks have been critically acclaimed by the New York Times, Billboard, NPR, and so many more. You will know Madame Gandhi's celebrated 2017 song, The Future is Female, which went viral right around the time of the first Women's March on Washington. And for those of you who have watched the Pandora's Box documentary, you'll also know that in 2015, Madame Gandhi chose to run the London City Marathon free bleeding without the use of menstrual products. This was an event that brought on hate and brought on love, but made her one of the most inspiring voices in menstrual equity movements. So welcome, Kieran, who performs under the name Madame Gandhi. We're so happy to have you.
It's an absolute joy to be here. It's so good to see you, Mama Dr. Jones. I'm a big fan of your work and very grateful for your incredible work on social media, meeting women and folks of all gender expressions where they're at.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be talking to you. So you really came into the spotlight first in the 2015 London Marathon. Obviously, you have done so much more than that, but do you still feel the reverberations of that as a defining event?
I do. I find I often open my social media and people are tagging me, citing the story as a source of inspiration, or young people saying, I didn't want to go to volleyball practice today, but then I thought of Madame Gandhi's marathon, and here I am playing volleyball in my period. Whatever it is, it gives me a lot of joy. And the interesting thing with that particular story is that, and people ask me all the time, was it planned? And it wasn't. I showed up to London Marathon that morning. It was my first marathon. I was so nervous and realized at the start line I was about to be on day one of my period. And for anybody who's watching this who does not have a period, let me tell you what you're not trying to do on day one of your cycle. Okay, it's run 26 miles. Yeah, 42 kilometers, just like that. And so, like any of us, I was evaluating my options: a tampon, a pad, a menstrual cup. I didn't have any of these things on me. And I was like, I would rather bleed freely than use any of these products that don't seem appropriate for 4.5 hours of running. And that's what I did. And did I know that bleeding would be radical? Of course I did. Like, bleeding from anywhere running a marathon is a punk rock move, if you ask me. Like, I knew it was badass. Like, I was just like, how could you shame a marathoner? I'm out here running. The more I ran, the more I thought, wow, women are doing incredible things. Folks who bleed are doing incredible things on their period every single day, all around the world. And yet we're expected to shroud it away in shame instead of celebrating the enormous amount of power that we have to give life to the human race and also continue about with our daily activities. It's so inspiring. It's so expansive. It's so powerful. And it's so wrong that we have to be quiet about it. So when I wrote about this experience, the story went viral, and yes, I do see the beautiful repercussions of that story manifesting to this day.
Well, you're inspiring me. I mean, running a marathon for me, not on my period, would never be an option. So that's incredible. And I've never even really thought about it that way, but I operate on people while bleeding. These things are really empowering and we should be embracing it. You're exactly right. So obviously that was 6 years ago now. What are you doing now to challenge menstrual taboos, or how do you incorporate menstrual equity into your work as a gender liberation musician?
When I was a young kid, the biggest thing that spoke to me was music and pop culture. As a kid, I wasn't getting my information from like encyclopedias or science class. Kids are getting their information from the internet, from things that are cool, from pop culture. And that's why I choose music as my medium, and I choose my music videos as my medium through which I convey these messages, because music can be felt all over the world. We open up a YouTube or Spotify and you can listen to a song. And then I want people to listen and say, whoa, did she just reference her own period? Did she just reference her own moon cycle? Did she just say that she doesn't want to be moody, that she wants to work on her own mental health by being self-aware of her own menstrual health? Like, that's really cool. I've never heard of an artist talk about that. That's really cool. I've never thought about my own mental health being connected to my own cycle. How empowering. How empowering to realize that we, as people who bleed, are connected to the moon, that I can look up at the moon and say, wow, it's a full moon, so I'm about 4 days away from when I'm going to start bleeding. It's so profound. It's so empowering. So music is the reason I choose this, because it's this positive, delicious, exciting place to get this information, rather than a place that typically would feel icky and uncomfortable.
Yeah, I love that. And you do it so well, but you make it sound easy, and we all know it's not easy. What do you think is the biggest challenge facing the menstrual health movement today?
I think the biggest challenge probably facing our movement today is maybe that we as people who bleed still believe and participate in the false narrative of disgust around our own bodies. Wrong. So wrong. We have to step into our own power. We have to say, it's so amazing that I'm able to do this powerful thing. I can't wait to be able to step into the fullness of my own anatomy. I'm so grateful that my cycle is regular. I'm so grateful that I don't experience pain on my cycle, because last month I had really bad pain. But this month I drank more water. I slept more. I rested better. I ate clean. I didn't have alcohol. I didn't stress myself out. My period is on point. My period is on track. Good. It's a vital sign. Or the next month, hey, I tell my team, this week is my period week. I have a little bit of, moodiness around my period. Please don't take it personally. I love you all so much. It's a tough week for me. I'm going to show up as best as I can. Empathy, awareness, stepping into that power. So the biggest challenge is the fact that that's my friend filming us today. The biggest challenge is that we cannot, we must stop believing this false narrative about our own bodies, and about the stigma that prevents us from talking about the power of our own bodies.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Those are such good points. And I think at some point in the film, someone actually said, we are sacrificing ourselves, our comfort, our health to uphold this societal stigmatization of our
That's right.
bodies, and that we have to fight back against that. And that's such an excellent point. Well, I'm really, really thrilled that you're here today. Thank you for giving your thoughts. We're going to move on to Chella Quint,
Give me
and
one
we will
second. I
see.
want to
Oh
shout out
yeah,
to the audience that I am wearing this bloody fabulous sweater from Lingua Franca. You can support the Desai Foundation. There's incredible organizations on the call today, but Desai Foundation is running a month-long period drive called their Bloody Fabulous Drive. It helps women and girls and people who bleed in India. So Bloody Fabulous, Desai Foundation, do your part. Okay, thank you so
love
much.
that. Yeah.
Thank you, Pandora's
See you
Body.
in
Bye,
see you in a
Diva.
little bit.
Bye-bye.